flashing anyone. All right, we are talking about Saturn conjunct Uranus, okay? This is going to happen, I'm filming this January 25th, by the way. And hello, you guys. Hey, you guys. Did you guys watch Goonies as a kid? Anyway, my computer wants to upgrade stuff. Give me a second. Okay, so as I'm filming this, Saturn and Neptune are in Pisces currently now, and they will both be entering. I did a month. Sorry, this is like not prepared. I did not want to edit this. Okay, here we go. They're both the 26th of January, which is tomorrow. Neptune will enter Aries. Then after some time later, Saturn will turn into 29 degrees in Pisces. And that, as of February 14th, will enter Aries as well. So I want to talk about what they both mean. And first of all, I have a playlist that I'm going to create, and it will be linked with this video. And I want to talk about, first of all, I want to explain Neptune in Aries. But first, let me talk about Aries. Aries is about initiation. It's about the first. It's about courage. It's about instinct. It is about the identity, the self. It's a new start. It's very raw. It's very honest, very impulsive, very impatient. It is about the solo, independent. That goes with identity too. Very competitive. There's drive. Mars is the ruler of Aries, so there is anger. There is aggression. It represents war. It represents violence. It represents any type of weapons that are used for aggression. It is sexuality. It is the male energy. It's very risk-taking. It's fighting for the self. Very trailblazing. New ideas. Ideas is Mercury, but new, something beginning, start. Very short-term energy. A warrior, hero, birth, starting over, self-discovery. Very hero reinventing itself, emperor, trailblazer kind of energy, okay? Very authoritative figure, the leader. Okay, now Saturn, when it enters Aries, Saturn is the planet, not just when it enters Aries, Saturn alone is a planet of time, delays, responsibility, discipline, boundaries, structure, authority, law, governance, police, any type of person with a uniform, restriction, father of time, it's karma, it's work, it's your career, it's your commitment, it's fear, limitations, delay, aging, maturity, endurance, reputation, very material reality. It is reality. It's very pessimistic. It could be very cold. Testing things and bringing challenges and lessons. There's integrity with Saturn. Neptune, remember Neptune goes first, then Saturn will follow. Neptune is the planet of dreams, imagination, spirituality, faith, illusions, confusion, compassion, empathy, escapism, addiction, substances. This is drugs, alcohol, medications. It's in charge of art and creativity, and it comes from when you're feeling it, because Venus is also about creativity. It's also in charge of our intuition, our psychic perception, symbolism. It dissolves everything it touches. So a lot of things it dissolves are boundaries. Collective consciousness. What is everyone feeling? Idealization, seeing what we want, not what is. Sacrificing, martyrism, the savior complex, self-undoing. Secrets, hidden things, things unseen or spoken, fog, chaos, healing, spirituality, anything dealing with Hollywood, because they are in charge of illusions. I would think social media too is in charge of illusions. Romantic, film, photos, ocean, water, floods, escaping reality, divine surrender, energy, okay? Now, these two are going to be sitting very close together. They're already sitting close together, but they're going to be sitting very close together. So that means they're taking on each other's energy. Usually when a planet is still and another planet comes, and it takes more of that energy. So Neptune will be moving first, and then Saturn will come and join that energy. So that means Saturn takes over that Neptune energy. But when they are both, so everything that I discussed about Saturn, delays, karma, all that stuff is more the energy. Now, when they are together, you are talking about turning dreams into a practical plan, into reality, developing disciplined spiritual practices, letting go of illusions about yourself and others, because you have that Aries energy, facing reality, facing your beliefs, learning boundaries, healing through routines. The boundaries aren't real. That kind of energy, or they're negative or pessimistic. In ending long-standing karmic cycles, disillusionment that leads to wisdom, choosing responsibility over escapism, or being maybe more responsible when it comes to escapism, choosing responsibility, no, I said that, redefining faith through lived experience, grounded intuition, releasing savior complex, being negative about the person who, because it's pessimistic, being negative about the person who is sacrificing something. Also to that Neptune is compassion. That Neptune is also healing. So being serious about your healing, or thinking long term about your healing, or their structure or limitations on healing. Okay, building trust slowly, learning to live with uncertainty, finding meaning through responsibility, processing grief quietly and maturely. Neptune also represents the ending of things, releasing and forgiving, and grief. Okay, reclaiming energy lost to fantasy, redefining success beyond illusions, faith that survives hardships, creating emotional and energetic boundaries, also losing boundaries. Can't find the boundaries, confused about boundaries as well. Okay, now worldly themes. I would think that we are going to have a lot of Saturn represents government as well. So I say this constantly, sitting next to Neptune, the government's being secretive or deceptive, or there's illusions or confusions with the government. Maybe there is a change in some type of religion or belief. Maybe there's a collective grief, serious grief, long-term grief. Grief in government, grief in the ending of government. It's a possibility, but I don't believe that one to be true. Exposing hidden harm within authority structures or any type of structures, or CEOs or corporations. Redefining moral ethics, material consequences for spiritual abuse, institutional reforms rooted in compassion, reality-based spirituality, and people who are sacrificing themselves, and there is a delay of some sort with that. I was really thinking about religion. So like some type of religious person, and the government is restricting them, or could be putting them in jail. Sobriety movements, or public health awareness, dissolution of fear-based control systems, rebuilding after society loss, responsibility for collective suffering. Art becomes more purposeful, long-term spiritual foundations. Okay, now I hope that makes sense. The seriousness comes with compassion, or the charity, or there's delays in charity. Just put everything I said about Saturn first and everything I said about Neptune second, and put them together. The Saturn part is stronger. Now we have to add a third element, that Aries. And again, I've put this in several videos. There's a playlist. This is just for behind the scenes group paywall. I want you guys to understand more about what's to come. Also too, I think that Saturn in Aries, we'll talk about, not Saturn, Neptune in Aries alone, get ready for homelessness, being more aggressive, fighting, killing. You see, like Neptune already was in Aries, and then it went back to Pisces, and it came back, and now it's back in Aries. And I think when it first came, you saw the people out in the world who are psychotic, are labeled crazy, killing, stabbing, that kind of energy. You're going to see that more than ever. Okay, so be safe. Use your discernment. If you feel like someone is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because we have to use our judgment, don't question if you're going to look crazy. If you feel like you are unsafe, then immediately make yourself safe. Okay, so like, for example, if you're sitting on a subway or a bus and you're like, this person's following me or whatever, do what you have to do to be safe, because Neptune in Aries makes them more aggressive. Okay, Saturn sitting next to an Aries puts limitations on them, so it's a little bit safer when Saturn's sitting there, in my opinion. But redefining identity through discipline and faith. Spiritual courage is required, acting on belief, not just feeling it. Illusions and self-image collapse. Learning when to fight, when to surrender. Boundaries around anger and impulsivity, because I said Aries. Rage must be directed, not denied or indulged. And there will be restrictions on anyone who decides to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There's some long-term discipline consequences with that. Healing wounds around self-assertion, especially fear of being seen, chosen, or leading. From ego to embodied leadership, authority is earned through integrity. There is a lot of people who may be getting sober and starting a new sober process. Reclaiming personal power from fantasy. No more waiting to feel ready. Identity forged through endurance. Also new drugs, and the government's coming out with new drugs. Again, I keep talking about Ozempic. This is major Ozempic. Letting go of the savior in a martyr role. You don't need to burn yourself to prove devotion. Okay. Leadership. There's issues with this. False heroes. Illusions of war. Government faking war as well. Militarization or belief systems or faith. Nationalism or identity used to mobilize force, to increase force. Rebuilding leadership through the ground up. New models of authority emerging very slowly. Institutional reforms around defense, policing, anyone with uniforms or military, and their boundaries are imposed with excess energy. So get ready for excessive fighting, government, illusions, deception, secrets, all together as one. I tried to give you things that I haven't said already, even though I still say things that I've already said, but just new stuff. I already talked about this conjunction already. It is at 0 degrees. It makes it very important. It is in the sign Aries. That makes it important too. And the two big planets, when we're dealing with big planets, you're dealing with more society issues. This is going to affect individually all my Aries rising, sun, moon, Aries placements in the early signs. This is also going to affect all of my Libras. This is going to be in opposition of you. You will have some opposition with this energy. This will also affect all of my cardinal signs. Okay, so Cancers and Capricorns. You shall be feeling this too. There will be a challenge. Okay, historically, when Saturn and Neptune came together, the major theme here again was war. In 1809, it came together and it was in Sagittarius. So it was about the belief system. It was about foreign lands. And you had a lot of people fighting nationality. That was when Napoleon came and did his stuff. And there was some type of religion, the Pope, that ended too. Then in 1846, Aquarius came. It was during Aquarius time, and it was about revolution and technology. And you had the Mexican War. So a lot of wars. The Mexican-American War. Again, it was a border war. Something with Mormons too. The Mormons started to migrate. And also too, that's when they discovered Neptune as well. But that Saturn and Neptune, the Neptune is the unseen, it's the invisible. And then it made proof of math and structure. And that's what happened. Also Karl Marx, that happened around that time. And he came out with his theory that was a Neptune and Saturn. I've said several times before, Russia is big with Neptune and Saturn, and Putin is big with Neptune and Saturn. Abraham Lincoln was born around Neptune and Saturn energy, so let's see what happens with that. In 1881, it was the Taurus cycle, so that's when Neptune and Saturn was in Taurus. And I hope I'm not speaking too astrological and confusing people, but I'm just saying when Neptune and Saturn gets together and they get together in certain zodiac signs, that zodiac sign becomes really strong. So the Aries energy will be strong. But when it was in Taurus, Taurus is in charge of money, food, labor, resources, survival. That's when they had the labor movement. That's when Paris economy, their bank crashed, their stock market crashed. That was the first time that's ever happened. And then you had J.P. Morgan, all the Rockefeller fortunes. They started to get bigger. Okay, so get ready for more institutions secretly doing something and starting maybe some new startups. Leo is when it was in Leo, Neptune and Saturn, and they were together, and it was in around 1917. Leo represent leadership, royalty, self-expression, and you had the dissolution of the monarchy, the Russian Revolution, and American World War I. Again, war. It was in Libra, the conjunction of Saturn. Libra is about harmony, balance, beauty, partnership. And you had the hydrogen bomb. And the hydrogen bomb, you had that. And, it's about the other side, injustice as well. Weapons were made during this conjunction. So partnerships and open enemies. Thank God it's not in Libra. There's something to be grateful for that. Recently, if you've 1989 is when it went to Capricorn, and they were conjuncting Capricorn. That's when the Berlin Wall went down. Again, a border, Neptune, and it going down. So you had that. What else did you have with that? Berlin Wall. Anything else that time? I felt like it was like a CEO, like a guy doing like pyramid schemes. He got caught. Yeah, CEOs is what it represents too. Yeah, so get ready for this 0 degrees, and it's not for the weak, but at least you have knowledge of what is to have ahead. Again, identity, again, faith, leadership, old men. Saturn represents old men, them starting something. Neptune is belief, action with Neptune and Aries. So you're driven to have a new spiritual system. And Saturn is consequences. So a lot of consequences, a lot of discipline, a lot of boundaries. Conjunctions are very strong. 0 degrees, very strong. Aries, very strong. Okay, so get ready. I hope I tried to, it's just because I did so much of this and I wanted to put this out here for you guys. I'm going to pull a card of what we can expect further with this Neptune and Aries. And then also too, let me put it in weeks. Neptune, Saturn starts to leave Aries fully. We'll get like a 4-degree orb around April 2026. A year from now, we start to really feel some separation from this. Let me see if it retrogrades. Yeah, we start to see some separation around 2026. So a full year of this, you guys. What can we expect with Neptune? This conjunction, a lot of healing, a lot of moderation, a lot of overdoing things. This is a temperance card. It represents Sagittarius, the world, doing a lot and having a balance in things. And we have the High Priestess, spirituality. Ooh, fire and spirituality, passion and spirituality, being very passionate about spirituality, being very passionate about your intuition. So maybe the Neptune energy will be way stronger than what I think. But the temperance card, I was doing some additional learning on the temperance card. It likes to move. It likes to have it all, and there needs to be a moderation of things. So that impulsive energy, I would think, moving fast. I'll put it in my notes because I have to look it up. There's a word that I'm forgetting, and I want to put that in. Anyway, but that is what we have with Neptune and Aries. Let me pull one more card. How does this affect you? A lot of slow movement. You reap what you sow. What you plant is what's going to grow. 7 of Pentacles. All right, so reap what you sow. Pay attention to what the energy you're putting out there, physical energy, mental energy, all the energy, because it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. This is a conjunction. Conjunction means this is the start of a cycle, and whatever happens now, especially in Aries and 0 degrees, is going to open up for what we have in the future. So when Neptune squares, this is going to be a continuation of what happens January 26th. Well, when they conjunct. Actually, let me put exactly when they get together. February 6th? No. Okay. I went too far back. They actually, February 20th, 2026, but they both will be sitting very close at 0 degrees. All right. That is what I have. I hope, I just ate breakfast, so I'm a little tired. Shouldn't have ate breakfast and got on the camera, but this is what we have. I will see you guys next time. Bye.